Alvelin Lundgren, and I wanted to talk today about sighting guides. And sighting guides are really helpful devices, especially if you are learning to draw. You're just starting out on your drawing journey, your design, your illustration journey. Anytime you are trying to draw from direct observation or from life, a sighting guide can be very useful. It's not absolutely necessary to use one of these, but it can be helpful. It'll help you understand the direct observation idea. So with apologies to Betty Edwards, author of Drawing from the Right Side of the Brain, which is a very popular drawing methodology, drawing, design, illustration, portraiture, all of these things require both halves of the brain. So it's a whole brain activity. You are analyzing, you are observing, you're drawing conclusions. So it's not just a creative idea, it is a whole brain analyze and create, not one and then the other, but concurrently at the same time blended. When you are looking at something to draw it, you are looking at it in terms of what is it doing within the three-dimensional space? What are the angles? What are the distances? What are the proportions? How is the back side that you can't see when you're drawing it related to the front side that you can see? And how do you create a convincing image that communicates accurately? A lot of times we want to draw expressively, but to draw expressively well, we need to draw accurately well. And so first go for accuracy and then go for expressiveness. So the sighting guide is actually a very simple device. It's been in use at least since the Renaissance in various forms. And basically the principles are that there are things that are level, which means they are directly horizontal to the ground plane, or things are vertical, meaning they are plumb. They're directly perpendicular to the ground plane. So everything is based off this geometry of vertical and horizontal. Anytime you look at anything, you are assessing, in order to draw it, the angles in relationship to being either level or vertical. Level or plumb, horizontal or vertical. And then you add to that distance, then you add to that proportion, rules of diminishment. This helps with figure drawing, portrait drawing, linear perspective, architectural rendering, industrial drawing, sketching, design drawing, communication drawing. It relates to everything. A sighting guide is simply a device that helps you assess plumb or level. And I've got two different ideas of that here. These are both homemade. This is made by taking an 8.5 by 11 pad of paper, taking that chipboard backing and putting a clear piece of acetate on it and taping it down so I have this frame that I can hold. But you can see that there are markings on this. I have marked off a square grid horizontally and vertically. And all I have to do is hold that up and look through it and make sure that the top and the bottom are parallel to the ground plane and that each side edge is vertical or plumb. And I can use this to estimate angles off the horizontal or vertical. This is not a measuring device, but it's really helpful for estimating what angle something is situated at. A smaller version I made basically from a piece of packaging. Things come in packages that are this rigid clear plastic. So all I did was make this out of this very type of package. This one only has a horizontal vertical demarcation. It doesn't have a whole grid. It's just what's plumb and what's level. I just drew the intersecting lines there and cut it out, put it in a frame, and it's this little pocket sighting guide, useful for when I need it. So if you're struggling to get angles correctly when you're drawing, a sighting guide is really helpful.
So how do you actually use a sighting guide? Well, you hold it up in front of you, you make sure the top and the bottom edges of your guide are parallel to the ground plane, and that the sides are perpendicular, the vertical sides right and left, are perpendicular to the ground plane. And that way you know that your sighting guide is basically positioned correctly. I like to hold it away from me about 8 or 10 inches and look through it, and it actually helps frame what I'm looking at. I move it to be able to compare diagonals, diagonal angles. Of course, horizontal is an angle. It's a 180-degree angle, or it's a 0-degree angle. And vertical is a 90-degree angle. And other angles we commonly use are 45-degree angles, 30-degree angles, 60-degree angles, 22.5-degree angles. Using the horizontal vertical, basically the 0, the 90, the 180, helps you estimate what a 45-degree angle might be, a 30-degree angle when you're looking at it, and so forth. Getting those angles somewhat accurate is really going to help your ability to draw accurately, because you are understanding what the various edges and planes are doing in space. So hold out the sighting guide in front of you, look through it at the object that you want to draw, and that's whether it's an animate or inanimate object. It'll work with any kind of object. It can even work when you are using photographic reference or other art as inspiration. And just guesstimate, or what we call eyeball, those angles. If you know what horizontal and vertical look like, you know what a 45-degree angle looks like, then you can figure out from there, well, half of a 45-degree angle is a 22.5-degree angle. So is that what's going on, or is it a 30-degree angle? Based on the horizontal vertical lines on your sighting guide, you can figure out what various diagonal angles are doing in your field of vision and capture them, translating them to your two-dimensional surface much more easily. Eventually, as you become more experienced, all you need to do is envision or imagine the horizontal and vertical, and then you estimate angles based on that envisioning. So it's a very simple device. It's been used for centuries to help people draw accurately. Go make one of your own out of clear plastic and paperboard or cardboard and some tape, and you're good to go. I'm Alvalyn Lundgren. Thanks for watching.